Okay, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayo, and we're going to go over some practice problems today. I hope you all had a great and happy and fulfilling Thanksgiving. So let's just get right into these practice problems. So, first one, a 40-year-old male client with a long-standing history of substance use is referred to a social worker who works in a mental health clinic. In the assessment interview, the client tells the social worker about frequent meth use. The social worker should first. So the first thing that's important is first, right? We want to see what do we do first. And then also we see that this is an assessment has already happened. So the assessment interview has already happened. So here we already made sure the client was safe. We acknowledged their feelings. Then we're at the assessment stage. So next thing, what do we do after assessment stage? So this can vary depending on what is going on with the client, right? So here, let's read the choices. So let me first highlight this. So conduct a family interview to evaluate the family's concern. Begin treatment, focusing on the reason for the drug abuse. Refer the client to a substance abuse program, and evaluate the client's motivation for change. So here, the correct answer would be C, right? What color am I going to use? I think I want to use red today. So refer the client to a substance abuse program. So here, you're a social worker that works in a mental health clinic, right? It doesn't say that you have any kind of specialty with substance abuse or that this clinic is a substance abuse clinic, right? So as a social worker and a mental health, let's say therapist, we don't even know if you're a mental health therapist here. You just work in a mental health clinic. So the best thing to do is to refer the client to a substance abuse program so this way they can get the help that they need. As social workers, just because you're a social worker doesn't mean you have an expertise in substance abuse, right? People have training for that. They get the case acts, all that stuff. So you can't just assume because you're a licensed social worker that you can treat someone who has substance abuse. You need training for that. So that is why the correct answer would be C. So next question. So someone who has issues with binge eating disorder may have trouble in which one of Freud's stages of psychosexual development? So they have binge eating disorder, so eating, right? This has to do with the mouth. So the correct answer here would be A. So an easy way to remember these stages is this thing that I came up with. So it's onions are purple, girl. So you know O for oral, A for R, P for phylac, L for latency, and girl is genital. So Freud if believed that if certain issues are not resolved at an appropriate stage, fixation occurs. So until that conflict is resolved, people get stuck at a particular stage. So a lot of times, people who have binge eating disorders, let's say they have smoking issues, anything that has to do with their mouth, Freud believed that they were stuck at that stage. So that would be an example of oral. So if you have a question that says something like this, that says, "Oh, someone has an issue with eating, they smoke a lot," let's say thumb sucking, something like that, you know it's going to be oral stage. Okay. Now let's get to the third question. So when working with an involuntary court-mandated client, it is useful for a social worker to first do what to address the resistance. So here, right? So let's say you work in a prison, you work for a law agency, something like that. You might have clients who, not a law agency, sorry, but if you work in a prison or just somewhere where people are mandated to come see you, there's going to be resistance. And if there's resistance, right, we have to think, what can we do in order to help the client become at ease for their current situation? So here it says to remind the client that this is mandatory, discuss what will happen if the client decides not to participate, acknowledge the client's feelings and circumstances about their current situation, show the client the court documents that states why they are mandated, right? So here's asking, what is the first thing we do? Right? So what is the first thing we do? So like I said in my previous videos, and I'm going to continue to say this, the first thing you always want to do is make sure your client is safe. Then you want to acknowledge and validate their feelings. Then after that, you want to assess the situation. And then after you assess, it will all vary depending on who you're working with and what needs to be done. So the correct answer would be C, right? Because we're acknowledging the client's feelings and circumstances about their current situation. there's nothing wrong if later on you show them the court documents so they can understand or explain to them why they're coming and why they're mandated to come to you, right? You reminding them first, when they're first seeing you, oh, hey, this is mandatory. That might make them, very apprehensive and make them on the defense. Like, they already don't want to be there, right? It's involuntary. It's court mandated. So you saying, hey, you have to be here, so you better participate or something like that. I just feel that that's going to cause, more problems than that needs to happen. Acknowledging, why, their feelings at, for the current situation, giving them space to talk about why, or how they feel right now. I feel like that will help you build rapport with them, and that will make the counseling or whatever the case may be run a lot smoother. In anything you do, you always want to make sure people feel heard and you acknowledge and validate their feelings. In anything you do, if you work in a school, you work in a prison, you work in a mental health office, people want to feel heard. These are people. So everyone wants to feel like, their feelings matter. And you should always make sure that your clients feel that way. So that is why C is the correct answer. And lastly, so a client is currently taking clozaril to treat schizophrenia. When taking this medication, what should be monitored due to the side effects of the medication? So is it weight, blood work, dietary restrictions, or abnormal hair growth? So we know that with a lot of medication, there are side effects, right? So for schizophrenia, the two medications that I always see for it is clozaril and Risperdal or Risperidone, right? I always see those medications, right? So make sure you know those two. So here, clozaril, this medication, this can cause abnormal white blood cell low, if I'm not mistaken, it's low white blood cell count. So because it can cause low white blood cell count, you would want your client to get blood work done regularly. So the correct answer here is B. So yes, I think that's the last question. That is the last question. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you. If you guys have any questions, please send me an email below. If you're interested in tutoring, email me. Also, this Saturday, I will be doing another free session for those who missed my Wednesday session. So if you guys are interested, I'll put the link below in this video just for those who want to join. It's free. Just subscribe to my channel. That's all I ask for the people that are joining. And yes, I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much and have a good day.